Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go. Super Bowl champs. More than likely. I'll see you guys Sunday. That's it. It's done. Like
Super Bowl champs.
I have full confidence. I have full confidence in these guys. I really do. I don't like, would I like other teams to get it? Yes, because I'm still like rooting for the Bills, man. I'm always gonna root for the Bills because I like the Bills. You know, like I like them. I think they have the strongest chance besides my team. But the Eagles look pretty hot. So before we start with that, let's talk about what happened today. I guess let's start with the first down news. What happened today? Mark, what made you look at your phone all day today?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because one of my better receivers on my Dynasty team got released.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your first thoughts? Like, what did you think?
I think my first thought was the Cardinals are definitely tanking this year.
Mm-hmm.
Second thought was, why didn't they at least trade him to get something in return?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they did, and they just couldn't get anything done. I don't know. But it just seemed weird that they're just going to eat the dead space.
Like, it's so weird because this is after months of, oh, we're going to trade him, and then we're not going to trade him. D-Hawk comes out like, oh, we never thought about trading. What are you guys talking about? I was going to be here the whole time. This is after months of just hearing crazy rumors of everything, and then just to drop the all-pro wide receiver. So, look, this will move. This move right here definitely is before June 1st, so which means that the Cardinals will clear $7.8 million cap in space for 2023, carrying the $22.6 million in dead cap, and will have removed Hopkins' salary from basically all of 2024. So they don't have to deal with
all his guaranteed money was paid.
Basically there was no guaranteed money after this year, so
the only thing they had to worry about was
for them to kind of do it now.
Yeah.
So
they didn't have to worry about the dead cap, so they were like, well, we pretty much already know what our roster is going to look like this year. Let's just eat the dead cap this year.
Yes.
And then going into next year, we'll have a clean slate. Bringing in Marvin Harrison Jr.
It would have saved them $19.45 million anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, you could have gotten anything. Like, even if they traded it, wouldn't it still wouldn't have gotten cap space? Like, still would have saved them money, right? If they traded.
No, the only thing that they could have done if they traded was they could have gotten something in return for him. The dead cap would have been the same.
Well, yeah, except the dead cap. But I mean, for next year's salary, though.
No, the exact same thing that happened when they released him would have happened because they would have hit the dead cap hit this year, and then next year would have been cleaned off the books.
Right.
So it's just like, why didn't you get something in return? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So it is what it is. DeAndre Hopkins probably will. Like, I'm excited because, look, I would love for him to go to the Bills, but the problem is they're broke as shit. So it's
love for him to go to the Chiefs, but they are even.
They are also broke. So I don't want him to like end up with the Bears because I don't see him wanting to play there. The Panthers, I really hope he doesn't go with the Panthers because that'd be disgusting. I don't see him as a Lion. I don't see him as a Colt. And I don't see him as a backer.
It just is. I'll take him in Detroit. I'll have my double stack.
Like
I from one double stack to another double stack.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. It's just the Lions can't afford him. They have $23 million.
We were talking about this earlier. This is what we came up to.
Crap!
Ravens
I
or
forgot
Browns?
peanut butters. Ravens or Browns? Yes. Ravens are sitting at 11, and then Browns are sitting at 7 million. So, Logan has a mixtape. That's his new quotations here. So Peanut Butter Waivers has now Logan has a mixtape. So D-Hop has his way out of Arizona. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that yellow would be like as bad as Brian's phasing abilities of just going in. Oh, you know what I could do? I didn't do this. Here, I'll fix that right now. I'll fix it right now. So right now we're phasing out as I go in. Oh, now it's not going to do it? Okay. I'll just add.
Well, there it goes.
There you go. Just a little bit more. So I'll go from 47 to 46. It should be less, but whatever. Look, he when they interviewed, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to play for someone like the Bills, right?" But the problem is they're in the negative, so they would have to make some type of move in order to do this to get this happening. But the problem is that's going to be a lot to make happen.
When he was in, didn't someone say his 3 teams were like the Ravens, the Bills, or the Chiefs? Like those are the 3 teams he wanted to go to.
Yes, yeah, and more than likely, if it seems like this offseason, the Ravens have making some weird moves for freaking receivers this year.
Did the Cowboys go after him?
They could do it.
I know they want. Oh, they got Brandon Cooks. Never mind. I forgot they got Brandon Cooks.
They could still do it. I mean,
I know they've been wanting another receiver, which is stupid. Oh, we need another receiver to go with CeeDee Lamb.
No,
would you add Amari Cooper?
He'll end up somewhere weird. Watch him. You know what? We're talking about the Eagles today. Watch him end up with the Eagles. Why not? They have the money. They have $13 million.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Why not?
Way too crowded receiver room.
Why not? They have money.
Because he'd be like 3rd or 4th target, diminishing his value completely.
He would be 2nd.
I think he'd over Devontae. You think he'd be over Devontae and Goddard?
He would be the 2nd read. AJ would be 1st read. D-Hop would be 2nd read. Devontae Smith would be 3rd read. If, I'm not... I think the Chargers were on the list, too. They have 12.7.
That's just as crowded of a freaking receiver room.
Look, he has many options. Many options. The teams that can't do it are above 10 million. Cowboys, Titans, Niners, Falcons. Those are at 10s. The 11 million teams are the Ravens and the Steelers.
Let's go to the Niners.
The 12 million teams are the Chargers and the Jags. The only one sitting at 13 million is the Eagles. And then
Jags.
Saints and Bengals are at 14.
Well, I also said Bengals too.
Yeah, and then the Texans are at 15. And it makes no sense. Like the Cardinals just cut them, and even though they have 16, I don't know. And then the Packers are also at 16. Colts, Lions at 23. The Panthers at 27, and the Bears at 32. So, where will D-Hop land? The world may not know. Because these guys have money. But the problem is those weren't really the teams mentioned. So if he mentioned the Chargers and Ravens are more likely then, right?
Yeah. We said Ravens and Browns.
I don't think the Browns
were on the list too and had 12.7 million.
Where would you like to see him go?
That's what Braden asked me. Honestly, I think Jacksonville would be a good spot.
Really?
Well, they have the money. He would easily be at least 2, if not 1.
Okay.
And I like Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback. So, I don't know.
Okay.
And then I mentioned the Bengals as well because I know they had the whole T. Higgins thing coming up. And they had, like you said, like 12 or 14 million.
Yes.
I was like, imagine if you bring in like Hopkins and then trade T. Higgins.
Mm-hmm. As Braden says, the Browns weren't on the list. I just thought maybe he would want to go back to Watson. Yeah. It's a valid point. I just don't think that with their 7 million lingering, that could be used for injuries throughout the season.
Right. Well, I also said D-Hop has to choose between the championship or money.
I think right now he's in championship mode right now.
Well, I think his best bet would just be 1-year deal, maybe even be a friendly deal to someone, go out there and produce, win a championship while being a key component to that championship to raise his stock in the next off season where he can get one last big contract before he's done. That would be his best case scenario for me.
Yeah.
For me too, actually, as a dynasty owner.
I don't
somewhere
know,
that has
man.
a quarterback, show what you can do.
I was just about to mention the Niners. That would be such a crazy threat, dude.
Oh my God, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and D-Hop.
Yep. So I don't know. If I see him as a Niner, that'd be some crazy stuff. So I don't know. He has plenty of options and see where he signs. I really don't like that the Bears are still the richest team, and I don't see him going there.
Well, that's why I said he has to choose between money or a championship.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go to the Bears. Why? Muschamp scheming up things. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Definitely.
For sure.
He'll make something out of that. All right. So, D-Hop, see where he goes. Crazy. I don't know. But anyways, we're talking about the Eagles today. So the Eagles, where did I put my? All right. So let me go on my. So the Eagles last year came in with 8 straight wins of the regular season, tie for best record league at 14-3, and then made the appearance to the Super Bowl. After beating the Giants in divisions, in divisional rounds, then they went beating the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship, right? Is that what it was? Yeah. So basically, the only thing they had to do is go in there and beat Patrick Mahomes, which they had the ability, and it was a really good Super Bowl, by the way. If you didn't watch it, well, I don't know. I don't know. Imagine you couldn't have seen it. It was a really good game. It was 38-35. It was that close. So it was a successful season. They just lost on the big stage. So they lost both of their coordinators. One to the Colts, their offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, and then Jonathan Gannon to the Arizona Cardinals, who was their defensive coordinator. So now Philly is going back with.
And not just that, but they lost their up-and-coming defensive coordinator to be the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals.
No, yeah, that's what I said. Jonathan Gannon to the
Cardinals. No, and then the guy they would have replaced Jonathan Gannon also went to the Cardinals.
Oh, really? Okay,
to be their defensive coordinator.
Oh, Jesus. All right, well.
This is their linebackers coach who they liked a lot, and I think they were going to have take over, but he brought him with him.
That made sense why, because your White went over there.
Yep, and that's why Zaire White went there. Yep.
So Jalen Hurts is still on his rookie contract. Threw 22 touchdowns with 6 interceptions and ran for 13 of them. The second most touchdowns in a single season by a quarterback in NFL history, and threw for like 304 yards in a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So very, very interesting for someone that young to already put up amazing numbers, considering 2 years ago the team was like on the fence about him. This guy just dramatically changed his career in a single season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the back end of last season, which we always kind of believe, it takes about 3 years for QBs to finally develop. We just got to give them that chance. And that's why I'm still, I don't judge a lot of these QBs yet. So prior to last year's draft, though, they made a trade with the Saints, a first-round pick, right? And it was like the 10th overall or the 16th overall or something like that. I can't remember last year, which kind of like they almost did the same this year. They had the first 2-round picks. They had a 10th and now a 30th. But in the draft, they moved up to what it was, the 9th, or they kept it at the 10th, right? They traded up with the Bears, right?
They traded up with the Bears, yeah.
Yes. So now, what do they do with that draft and these draftees? Well, Mark will tell you.
Sorry,
come on, Mark. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. So the first they went with Jalen Carter.
I thought you were going to do free agency, so you skipped me.
Well,
confused me again.
Well, I don't know. I'll look that up. I don't have the free agency. My bad. Just go start with the draft, and we'll bring in the free agency.
They traded up with the Bears from the 10th to the 9th, and they got the big boy defensive tackle out of Georgia, Jalen Carter, to go with the other defensive tackle out of Georgia, Jordan Davis from last year. And then with the 30th pick, they got Nolan Smith, linebacker out of Georgia. Then with the 65th pick, they got Tyler Steen, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Then with the number 66, one pick later, didn't realize they had 2 picks in a row. They got Sidney Brown, safety out of Illinois. Then with the 105, God knows why this guy was here at the 105. But they got Kelly Ringo, cornerback out of Georgia.
Yes. And
then 188, they got Tanner McKee, QB out of Stanford. Ooh, better look out, Jalen. Going for your job. Just kidding. Round 7, 249, they got Moro Ojamo, defensive line out of Texas. Ojamo?
Moro Ojamo, yeah. I'm out of Texas, so. The re-signs that they did was Jason Kelsey to another contract. They also brought in Rashad Penny. And they signed Boston Scott for another freaking year. The guy just won't go away. God, I hate Boston Scott so much. I do. I really do. They reached an agreement with James Bradbury for a 3-year deal. Then they signed Fletcher Cox for another 1-year deal. A 2-year extension for Darius Slay after almost losing him. And I didn't know this, but they brought in Marcus Mariota for a 1-year deal. So then they also brought in Nicholas Morrow, who was probably, I think, with the Bears last year. They signed Lane Johnson to a new contract and Terrell Edmonds for another contract for a 1-year deal. So they were making some moves all basically in March. And then former wide receiver from the Falcons, Zacchaeus, also to a 1-year deal. They extended Jalen Hurts to another 5 years, going all the way to 2028. So, and during this time, the trade that they did, and once the draft happened, they traded for DeAndre Swift during the trade. So now they signed basically all their picks. Now, I think they had these signings that they've so far have made out of these rookies is Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, and Sidney Brown, Charleston Rambo, and that's about it. I think Dan Arnold is there now too. So yes.
Peanut Butter Waivers said Eagles are looking so good, top of the conference. He didn't even say division; he said conference.
No, yeah, no. I think they have a very good chance of winning it this year. I really do. The weapons, everything is just developed so nice for them right now that I think I don't think anyone's going to have a chance, but we'll get into the schedule here in a bit. So those were the moves that they made during the offseason and then during the draft. So the big joke is that they're calling them the Philadelphia Bulldogs because in the last past years they've been drafting nothing but Georgia guys. And then when they didn't even have anybody to draft in that round, what do? They traded up for a Georgia guy, DeAndre Swift. So it's like, okay, dude, what's going on? Look, a lot of guys are firm believers about chemistry. I know I'm a believer in that, not like hardcore, but I do believe that chemistry is a big factor when it comes to these players. So, maybe they have the best freaking team because overall, out of Georgia, they have the best team in the nation as defense, and they have about 7 of those guys, right? Am I wrong?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, a good amount of these guys from that spectacular team. So Brian Johnson is offensive coordinator, and Sean Desai as their defensive coordinator. Still running with Nick Sirianni. So here's the roster. Holy crap, that's fun. Can you guys see it? A little better? A little better? How about that? All right.
Perfect.
All right. Jalen Hurts, I've mentioned Marcus Mariota's got brought in. And then look, Ian Book is here. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ian Book. Who knew?
Yeah. We liked watching Ian Book out of
Notre Dame.
Yeah. And I think the last game we saw him was the Senior Bowl. Didn't do too shabby, but definitely not a starter. So obviously New Orleans said goodbye, and now he's with your Philadelphia Eagles. So here's the running back room. We got DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, and Rashad Penny. I think that Rashad Penny and Swift are going to be the 1-2. I don't know why Kenneth Gainwell is here at the number 2 spot. Is there
because someone will blow on Rashard Penny and he'll hurt a knee or something and then be out. So they're just sliding him up because they know that's where he's going to be.
Probably. Maybe. Preemptive injury.
Right.
So Boston Scott is still there, man.
Yep. Still there.
And Trey Sermon, who they signed last year, right? Or was it this offseason? I can't remember, but he is now there. Probably one of the biggest busts so far out of running back room.
We were so high on him.
A lot of people were.
What happened?
Yeah. So for the receivers and tight ends, we have Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll, and Aaron Donald is Aaron. Oh, Dan Arnold. Yeah. Dan Arnold is there, and Tanner McKee. They just got in the 6th round, so should be interesting. H.A. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Zacchaeus out of Atlanta, all the 1, 2, and 3, and then Quez Watkins is still there as well. So we've seen what they could do with this team. They didn't really bring anybody besides DeAndre Swift outside of the box. Yeah, they lost Sanders, right? But they brought in basically someone just as talented as him, Swift. And if Penny could stay healthy, well, I think that the room and the running production could still be the same.
Ooh.
How are they going to utilize him is the grand question. I don't know. Do they change it up? Yeah, possibility. It's not the same freaking offensive coordinators, but it is Nick Sirianni. So
yeah, they brought back just about every starter on offense, didn't they?
Say what?
So they brought back just about every offensive starter except for Sanders.
Yeah.
The offensive line looks the same.
Dang it! I thought I missed Aaron Donald getting no. I just misread Dan Arnold. I said Aaron Donald. I don't know. But yeah, it's Dan Arnold out of Jacksonville. So who isn't a bad tight end either, but just So that's the offense, man. I don't see anything's going to be changed dramatically. Maybe the scheme a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a change. Maybe they pass a little bit more. I don't know. And looks like DeAndre Swift is a 0 or is going to be 0.
If they want Hurts to stay healthy, they will pass the ball more.
Yeah. How interesting is it going to be if DeAndre Swift comes in as a number 0?
I was looking at the roster right now, and I was like, God dang, I bet you DeAndre or D-Hop could sign here. Good Lord. That'd be nuts.
And they could do it. They have a decent amount of money. That's what I'm saying. They have why I said, we're talking about the Eagles today. Would it be a possibility? Because they're sitting at $13.4 million.
Right.
Which would easily put them on the right side of A.J. Brown, moving Devontae Smith at the slot wide receiver.
That's terrible. I don't like it.
But it changed now, right? Because earlier you said no. And now you're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Looking at
It's
their
a
roster.
possibility.
Yep, I could see it.
I told you. I don't know how much like if he comes in, he's just gonna want that ring, and this is the team to do it.
Well, I think he wants the ring, but I think he still wants to show he can play. And like I said, he wants to earn that last big contract before that well dries up.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see. This could be a good landing spot for him, unfortunately.
I think so.
I mean, fortunately, but unfortunately. I mean, fantasy-wise, that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite team-wise, that sounds terrible.
Right, because you're a Commanders fan. So
Right? That'd be like D-Hop going to the Saints for you, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. I get it. I just because if it does happen, I don't think you're gonna get rid of him, because if I know your roster, your roster is hurting at the receiver spot. So yeah, that's quite the blow there, because you're not gonna bench him, and I don't think you're gonna trade him. And if you do, what are you doing for dynasty managers? Like, what is your price for D-Hop right now? If he ends up with the Eagles, right? Say he's on the Eagles. Do you, like, is that a second round pick? Because I don't think you're going to get a first unless it's like week 10. Because then that's the only time you'll probably get him, because you know the contending team.
Right.
Like if they lost
It's
Stephon
ready to
Diggs,
shell
right?
out. Yeah.
Like if they lost Stephon Diggs, and you say, "Hey, I have D-Hop here with
yeah.
he's doing pretty good." Like, would that be the time to sell him for a first? Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. But right now, no one's going to trade you a first.
I'll be lucky to get a second, honestly. Just because, like, would his production alone for this year, if he landed on the Eagles, be worth a first or a second? I think so. But I think because it's Dynasty and the unknown, like, what is he going to do? Because he's not going to get a long-term contract from the Eagles. He'll probably get, like, a one-year deal.
Oh, yeah, I would expect that.
So then it's like, I don't know if I want to give you a second, because Lord knows what's going to happen with him after this year, you know?
Exactly.
Especially if he were to get a worst-case scenario, sign a one-year deal and gets hurt. I'll be like, oh, my God, value, everything just...
Right, so would it be good to trade him now if you have the room? Like, obviously, you yourself, personally, yourself, okay? I know you can't.
Yeah, as of right now, I can't.
Receiver back.
Unless I draft like 4 receivers in the draft, I have to wait till the draft.
Right, but let's say, hypothetically, someone has him, right? And their receiver room is okay. And he ends up on the Eagles.
I think you might be able to get a second, but more than likely you're looking at third.
I think you get a second. I think you can get a second right now.
If you go to the right team that's like really receiver, like all I need is a receiver and my team will be over the top, then that person will be willing to give up a second. But someone who's like
get a back end second,
rebuilding, or someone who's like, oh, I'm a couple pieces away, they're not going to want to give up the draft capital. Unless, like you said, let maybe a back half second. That's why I say competing team who's like, I only need a receiver, and I'm going to be really good, and I'm going to be at the back end of the second anyway. Here's a second for D-Hop. That would happen in heartbeat. Completely agree.
Okay. All right, not bad. This is just real quick. So, Peanut Butter, I've drafted so much Kincaid in the best ball. D-Hop, please sign somewhere else. I don't know where he's going to sign me. Like, I know we're talking about Philly today, but I could just imagine, because they have the money, dude. D-Hop on Philly would give AJ Brown, Smith, and Goddard a bump. Yes. I think it might give Brown I don't know.
I don't think it could be a
bump up, because most of the I don't think it would be shade on any of these guys. Because now you're looking at 4 solid weapons. 5 if you include any of those 3 pass catching backs, because Swift, Gainwell, and Penny to me can all catch, and they can all be effective.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if like maybe a bump down, but then you never know. It could actually be like, oh, let's guard D-Hop more than we should. Like, what if Smith is like the outlier here this season because there's so much talent around him?
Mm-hmm. Good.
That, yeah. So it's going to depend on how these defensive treat if D-Hop ends up here, hypothetically.
I agree.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to go. And that's going to be the biggest question until we see him signed. And it's not going to happen until probably after, I don't know, was it June something or July? I don't know.
Might even go into training camp. Who knows?
Probably. Yeah. So, all right. Let's talk about this defense real quick. Brandon Graham left, so they're looking at a 4-3 still. So Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, now new addition, and Joshua Sweat. Nicholas Morrow, who they brought in, Nakobe Dean, should step up and take care of that spot. Hassan Reddick, because what's his face just left because you're White is now, so I think Nakobe Dean should be that guy now. Hassan Reddick.
Jeez. I had Brandon Graham on the Eagles. It was weird.
What do you mean?
Like
What?
you said, Brandon Graham left.
No, I said
up again.
I said because your White is gone. So
Brandon Graham. All right.
Nakobe Dean is coming up.
Kobe Dean, yes, I have him as starting middle linebacker. Guy that I really
Yes.
liked coming out last year.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Here to keep you on your toes.
I never fell off. So
Man, they got Jalen Carter starting over Jordan.
Oh
Davis.
my God, Mark, just finish it off.
That's nuts.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
You cut me off right in the middle of it. So go ahead, finish it.
Oh, I'm good. Go ahead. Finish your spiel.
Darius Slay at left corner, James Bradby at right corner. You got your nose at your nickel back on nose. Goddamn nickel back at Avante Maddox, and your safeties are Terrell Edmonds and Blankenship. With the addition of Sidney Brown, should be learning from them. And don't forget about Kelly Ringo, who's also there, and then Nolan Smith, probably going to learn a lot from Hassan Reddick. These guys are stacked. It's a really good defense. It's a really good freaking offense. I don't see them losing very many games. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. What do you have here to say?
I say safety is probably their weakest unit on the defense, but the corners are so good that
You think so?
yeah. I mean, Sidney Brown.
Yeah,
Still
maybe.
young.
Terrell Edmonds did pretty good in Pittsburgh.
No, I like Terrell Edmonds, but I'm just saying.
Maybe free safety is what you meant?
I just meant as a unit, the safeties.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Darius Slay and James Bradbury, and then you look at their freaking linebackers with Hassan Reddick and Nakobe Dean, and then you got Sweat, Cox, Davis, Graham with Carter, mixed in there, and then you still, and then even throw, like you said, Kelly Ringo in there. Like, they're just so deep and stacked that I feel like one or two injuries at the safety, they could be in trouble.
Right.
I mean, they do have Reed Blankenship, who I think played for the Colts. Nope, just the Eagles.
Blankenship. No, he was
he's just an Eagle. Yeah, he's just an Eagle.
So
I don't know.
I like what they have here, man.
Well, I like what they have too. It's solid defense.
So,
I mean, even to the point where most positions someone goes out, you have someone who can slide right in and take their place.
Exactly.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
So, they have depth, and I think they're going to be good for quite some time.
Too? I don't even know they had Grady Williams.
So, yeah. All right, so let's do who you taking, who you gambling on, who you absolutely not taking.
You go first because I'm typing.
Okay. Who am I taking 100% out of this? I'm going to take Hassan Reddick. Okay. Despite like, yeah, the offense is really good and powerful. I think Hassan Reddick was one of the leading defenders on this team that is going to score you multiple points per week. And that's something I could just plug and play him and leave him there. Because he was just like getting sacks galore all last season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's my guy I'm taking 100%. The guy I'm gambling on is probably... Oh, man. I want to say Rashad Penny or DeAndre Swift because we saw what Sanders did last year, and they could be productive if healthy and if they use them. But again, it's a gamble because we know what Swift or Sanders can be, but what are Swift and Penny going to do? Are they going to put up the same? Are they going to play the same? Are they going to
stay healthy?
Exactly. So
both of them.
Exactly. So I'll take a gamble on one of these guys. The guy I'm not taking out of this, just out of, and we know they're gonna like, God, man, this is hard. Who I'm not gonna take. I'm not going. Oof.
Yeah, who you not taking? Because that's the one I'm stuck on too.
I guess I'm not taking. Oh, this is dumb. This is a stupid question. This I can't. There's not a single guy I would not consider not a good valuable pick here, because all these guys could be valued like really good. It's going to be a defensive guy because you're going to want AJ, Devontae Smith, and Zacchaeus, and of course Dallas Goedert. So they fall into the wants between the gambles, where a guy who's a starter who's good. I don't think I'm going to take Joshua Sweat or Terrell Edmonds. But I'll say Joshua Sweat just because I think Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, and Jordan Davis might eat up the middle, where Joshua Sweat is so good that I think it's going to push the QB to the left side where Brandon Graham's going to get the sack. Meaning, on IDP purposes, I think Joshua Sweat will get tackles and produce tackles.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brandon Graham might get more of the sacks this season than he will with the tackles. That's just my prediction. I'm going to say I'm not taking Joshua Sweat here.
Okay.
That one was hard.
A little bit. I did come up with one myself, but so absolutely taking without a question would be Jalen Hurts. Just because 24.
I didn't want to do those too easy.
Franchise quarterback. He's not going to lead the league in passing, but from a fantasy standpoint, with the way he runs the ball, he's going to be top 5 quarterback hands down. So without a doubt, I'm going to take Jalen Hurts. Person I'm gambling on is going to be Devonta Smith. Sorry, say his name.
Why?
Well, if they do bring in like D-Hop and stuff, I feel like he could be a guy, if he stays healthy, could be the top fantasy point getter on this team, like outside of Jalen Hurts.
I don't know. I think he needs a top receiver to make him good, though.
Well, he's going to have possibly 2. He's got A.J. Brown and bring in D-Hop.
Which I think why he's might be open more.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm going to say I'm taking Devonta Smith.
Take a gamble there.
That's his. Even though if they were to bring it in, you would think, oh, it's kind of a gamble because there's going to be less balls to go around because there's so many of them. I think Devonta Smith could be the one who gets open the most. Mm-hmm. And his fantasy upside is just through the roof for me. And then the person I'm not taking and I'm staying away with is Fletcher Cox. Just because he's older and he's got these 2 young stud defensive tackles who are probably going to chase him out within a year.
Yeah.
So from a dynasty standpoint, I don't think I'd want to do Fletcher Cox. Even though he is like a sexy name, people tend to know who he is.
Yeah, I think he's going to be productive this season, though, too. But no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
And then he said that. And then Brandon Graham, too, just because of age as well.
Yeah. So I just think he's gonna I think Joshua Sweat's better than him.
Well, this guy's trying to collect
Yeah, I was
defensive
gonna
Eagles
say go for
like
100%.
he's
Why not?
collecting offensive Packers. He's gonna have all Philly defense and an all Packers offense pretty soon.
Sweat, Dean, and Reddick. He already has Dean and Reddick, doesn't he?
He has Sweat, Reddick, and Dean. He has all three of them.
Oh yeah. And so should I add Carter?
So he's saying I should add Carter.
Well, you could with your second pick because you have two of them, right?
Jordan Davis might be available. I think he got dropped. Go get him too.
Did anybody draft Jordan Davis in our freaking league?
I think somebody did, but I think someone dropped him because he didn't do anything his rookie year, really.
Well, yeah, you don't. That's common though. Like you leave them on their taxi squad. That's what they're there for, man. Like, all right, we're gonna find out who this person was. Jordan. I just had a brain fart. I didn't know how to spell his name. Jordan Davis. What? Really? Nobody looked at him this year.
He wasn't even picked up at all. Wow.
Nobody looked at him this year.
Well, there you go. I could have sworn. I thought someone might have picked him up and dropped him.
No, he didn't do anything. I think he was just presumably like everyone's taxi squad. Just leave him out in the free agency. No one will grab him.
Right. Yeah, he's good where he is. No one's looking for
I
Jordan
expect
Davis.
him to be gone somewhere this year, though.
Well, it's funny because you have Jalen Carter starting, and I have Jordan Davis with Jalen Carter behind him. I find that interesting.
Do you have Jalen Carter starting behind Jordan Davis?
No, I have Jalen Carter on the bench behind Jordan Davis.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I have Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox, and then right behind Jordan
right.
Davis is Jalen Carter. Whereas you have the opposite. You have Carter.
I think by putting, I agree with you here. What you said about Fletcher Cox, I don't think he's going to be very much. I think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and they work together pretty well. So I think Jalen Carter.
Oh yeah, they have how many years of experience of being teammates? So
at least a minimum of 3, at least.
Right.
So going into the NFL, they're going to have at least another 3 together.
Right.
So.
No, maybe 4. They're both first-round picks.
No, but Jordan Davis already on his first year gone. So which means if they don't re-sign him, he's only got 3 years left on his rookie contract.
Yeah, but they get the 5th-year option because they're both first-round picks.
If they don't take the 5th-year option on him, though, I'm saying at a minimum.
Which
right?
I guess in today's NFL, no 5th-year options guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At a minimum.
Chase Young.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. Am I excited for these guys? Yeah, why not? Should be fun to watch. Should be interesting. But again, we won't know until it happens. And for IDP purposes, I think these guys are going to be a lot more fun than what what we're watching on TV. So I think
right.
And like we said last year, just pick a guy. Just pick a guy on this Eagle defense, and they're going to be productive, I think. I really think that. Last year, just grab a freaking lineman because they're all producing.
I was leaning on Slay as well, just because I know he's a great corner, but I feel like he's the same thing with Jalen Ramsey at times, where he's so good that teams just don't throw in his direction, which limits his fantasy production. Yeah.
Corners are kind of hard to judge when it comes to IDP. Just because, what you just said, quarterbacks won't throw that way if they're really good. So, all right, let's talk about their schedule real quick. So before the bye, okay, they have New England Patriots. They travel to New England Patriots. Then they host the Minnesota Vikings. So they're back and forth basically. So it's the Patriots, Vikings, the Buccaneers, the Commanders, the Rams, the Jets, the Dolphins, and then they play the Commanders again. So, and then they end it with the Cowboys, and then they have a Week 10 bye week, which isn't too bad. So, overall, they can go into the freaking bye week at 9-0. 9-0. And then they lose to the Chiefs, or they win the Chiefs because they had the bye week to kind of study what they did. They could be looking at the Bills at 10-0. Do you think that either the Bills or the Chiefs beat them? Probably. I'll give them their first loss within the week 11 or week 12. And then I think they go on another hot streak of winning. Seattle might give them a run, but I don't think that's going to. Jesus. Do we just give them 2 losses at least for Kansas City and Buffalo? I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at this. What do you think, Mark? Are they 15-2? Because I don't see many losses here, bro.
I'm just gonna say 13.
13?
Yes.
All right, who's their losses, man?
I have them. You guys are gonna say this is a homer pick, but I'm just telling you, if you look at the past, like even last year, especially when we played, we beat the Eagles once a year. It's just what we do.
Okay.
So I have them splitting with the Commanders.
Kind of like the Dolphins and the Patriots.
Like we are just a thorn in their side for some reason, whether it's at home or away. We find a way to, because we beat them in Philly, I think, last year on Monday night. That game was nuts. But we just find a way to be a thorn in their side. So I think we will split with Philly. I have them losing to Kansas City just because it's in Kansas City. I do have them beating the Bills. I think they lose to San Francisco just because San Francisco goes into that game with something to prove.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that was it, I think. Those were the 4 losses. Washington, Kansas City, San Francisco. Oh, and I think I have them splitting with the Cowboys.
Okay, so what are we looking at here?
So I'm at 13-4.
Okay. I'm at 15. So we're
Although
looking
I do think that Jets game could be a good game, though.
It could be, but then we still have to see what the Jets really are.
Exactly. But by week 6, we will know. So, I mean, I'm just saying that could be a good game.
Right. So we're going with...
So I'm at 13-5.
So we're going with 14. All right. So we're doing this thing that Mark came up with. And it's a lot harder than I thought now, Mark, because now I have to legitly look for the city ones. So the first ones were cities. Now I can't find the city ones. I guess Mark's computer took a dump. So we are doing this overall, like, shared for wins and losses. So let me bring that up. So as of now, kind of making our record. So these are in the past shows we've had here. So I don't know if you can see it. We are kind of like, we have 4.5 for these 2 teams, and 6.5 for the Las Vegas Raiders. So we're going to keep this, and then we're going to use it as a giant overlay once we're all done. So between myself and Mark, we are sitting at, 14 we said? Because he had 13, I had 15. So let's put it at 14 games, and then we'll put that. So eventually we're going to have this as a giant bracket. So we'll have 14 wins on that's NFC. So let's put that on the right spot. So 14 wins. So I'm still playing with this. At the end of it, it's going to look pretty good. And we're going to make a preemptive playoff schedule maybe before, based off of what we think and going off of how we feel. And then see what's going on after these predictions, because we're doing all 32 teams. So favored in 14 games, the over-under, let me get to that. The over-under is 11. Expecting for DraftKings of 7.5. Teams not favored against are the Jets, Chiefs, and the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers made a freaking impact that much? That's wild, dude. Like, I mean, maybe I haven't looked at the Jets that freaking like we haven't done the Jets yet. So when we do get to the Jets, I'll probably believe that a little bit more. But right now, just because I haven't looked at the Jets roster and depth chart, like just from what I know in the news and everything, but breaking it down, I haven't done yet. So when we get to the Jets, we'll probably do that. So, yeah. Welcome back, Mark. So
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah.
You made this a lot harder than what. Yeah. Remember the original way I wanted to do it, and then you picked these backgrounds. Guess what? I can only find these two backgrounds. The first two we looked for.
Well, we can switch it the other way then.
Well, no, it's already too late because I already committed to this. This I made. I literally went in to get 4 freaking cities of their cities, made it into this overlay with their logo, and then shrunk it and put it in here. So no, I've already committed to it. Thanks, Mark. You made me do more.
You're welcome.
I expect chapters for every episode from here on out.
Well, do you happen to have a time when you started to do this? Because my computer decided to be stupid, so I didn't see when you started this.
What? Oh, would I have a time?
Yeah, because
right
we
now
were
we're
still
at 50...
talking about you were just getting ready to start it when my computer decided to turn black.
Well, if you're doing the chapters, you can always go back into StreamYard and then watch the timelines there, because right now we're at 52. We're about to hit that hour and 8 minutes. So if you want, I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
I'll show you after the show where you can get the timelines to perfection. So Jets are +1, Chiefs are +3, and the Cowboys are number 1 or +1. Okay. So yeah, this is what we're doing. Obviously, we haven't done the Rams yet, and we haven't done the Niners yet, or the Saints or the Bucks. So
okay, DraftKings has them at 7.5. I'm gonna put like $1 million on that bet. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have 13, I have 15, so we're gonna average it at 14. We'll have the NFC North, right? That's what you guys are at. NFC North here with the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders,
we're
and
East. We're East.
Say what?
We're East.
Or the East?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. My bad. So East, and I'll probably have the North here, and the North's here, South or whatever. I'll fix it. I'll look. It's still a work in progress. So.
Well, you have it right now. You have South on both tops, West on the middle of both. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have East there, then the 2 Norths in the middle. Be perfect.
Yeah. So I'll figure it. I just have to get more city pictures for this freaking project that Mark has created now. So. But yeah, that's it, man. 14 games. That's what we're saying. This is our proof. And before the season starts, we're going to load this back up and we're going to do our predictions based off of this, because I know we're going to do predictions with the other guys from Chicago and they're going to want to do theirs on probably Sunday morning. But we're going to keep it to our own. We're going to have our own, and we'll make our own brackets and see how far we get, and we're going to refer back to it. So every now and then. Should we refer back to this, every 4 weeks maybe?
Like once a month? Yeah, we could do that.
I think that's
see how our projections are going.
Yeah, I think so.
Get through the first week, and the Colts are like 4-0. We're like, well, we're in trouble with them.
Or they go 4-0 and then they just lose the rest of the season.
That's true. Like I said, we're in trouble. But then if they lose, we'll be like, aha, see? We weren't scared.
We knew all along.
Yeah, we knew all along.
So yeah, that's the Eagles, guys. We're gonna be off tomorrow. Why not? And then following Monday, we're doing the Bears.
The Bears. Yeah.
We're gonna be 12 Pacific time. And then 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, sir.
2 o'clock Central. So, yeah. How about Dynasty Pylon winning the best logo bracket?
Yeah.
Yes, Braden. Congratulations. I didn't advertise it as much. I just told my household and you guys really.
That's what we did. We just everyone in our house.
Yeah, that was it. And then accumulation from everyone else. Considering that we were up against the football guys who have 1,000 subscribers, freaking who else were we? Get Right guys who they're just now hitting. They just topped 600, right? And then
Yep.
Dynasty Fantasy Factory. I don't even know. They're freaking I'm now probably gonna listen to them or whatever because I didn't even know who they were. So congratulations, Braden. That's all you, my guy. That is all you. And let's run it, dude. This is the creative mind of me thinking, all right, I want a pylon with a football. And then Sandy created this prototype of this, which this is the best I could probably do. At the ending screen, this one at the end. That's one of our segments. But yeah, you see the left, that was what she created. And then Braden perfected it. So hopefully no one else is watching because I realize they're all gonna jump your bones for that. So my bad, dude. But hopefully no one else is will watch this. So I'm sorry if it gets blown up. But yeah, this is it's not that's the one, guys. That's the one. And that's gonna be just the pylon, the IDPs. Congratulations, man. That's all you.
It's this $1,000 logo design. Ha.
Hey, 10. now they'll never hit you up again.
Hey, you never know. A corporation be like $1,000. That's cheap.
Maybe, but they need to grow though for something like that. So, is Brian on the Bears one? No, he's too busy managing all his
Polvas.
Yeah. Might need to mute. No. Yeah, there won't be any mics muted because he won't even be there. Which I'm kind of glad because we can actually go along with the show, and because if I have him on there, he won't shut up, and he's just gonna say that they're gonna win the Super Bowl and that they're gonna be the best team, and the Lions are gonna be the Lions. That's because that's what he says every year. The Lions are gonna lion.
The Lions are gonna lion.
Okay, whatever, dude.
And
Even
by
though
lion, you mean win the division? You're correct.
Yeah, didn't they get swept by the Lions last year?
They did.
Yeah, so shut up, Ryan.
Probably gonna get swept by them this year too.
I hope so. I hope so. Just because I had to. I have a new Lions jersey coming in too. So
who'd you get?
Yeah. Hutchinson.
Oh,
I like him.
Nice.
I like him a lot.
So IDP?
He's my first defensive lineman. Never had one before.
IDP.
So exactly. So again, 12 o'clock Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Central will be 2 o'clock. So we'll talk about them on the Bears. I would not be surprised if Brian takes a lunch break at 2 p.m. his time and blows up our chat. And he will probably join on his phone. And I will not let him in. If he's on his phone, I will. I don't know how I feel about it. Because if he does, I'm going to be. He's just going to talk madness. He'll probably say, oh, yeah, they'll go 15 games. Yeah, okay, dude. All right. Anyways, that's it, guys. Any last words for the Eagles, Mark?
Oh.
Before we head out of here and close this one out. All right. That's all I got. Guys, it's Friday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everyone around you. If you guys go out, just be safe. Drive safe. No drinking and driving. I want to see all you guys back on Sunday and all the other episodes. So I love when you guys come in and share our channel. We're about to hit 300, and you already know. Watch that video, like it, and subscribe it. Get yourself a jersey, because why not? It's a stitched jersey, and it's free. So, all right, let's get out of here. Later. Take care. Yep, there it is. All right. I'll see you guys later. See you guys on Sunday morning as we... Hold on. Don't we have shots to take? Didn't we have draft shots? I think we had draft morning spikes, dude. I'm going to check on that. We might have to do shots on that morning. We never took them. All right. See you guys.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate.